we've covered the intricacies of how Pop-Tarts are just dessert ravioli in the past and stuff like that.
Yes, and fuck you for that.
So what if I told you can't ever actually buy a Hot Pocket? Have you ever bought a Hot Pocket that's hot?
Is this one of those stupid literal things where it's not hot, it's like cold pocket, but when you take it home, you introduce the heat. Now it's a Hot Pocket.
I'm sorry, have you ever actually had a Hot Pocket? I've had like a weirdly still frozen in the center pocket and a, oh God, why is the erupting surface of Vesuvius in a piece of bread pocket, but never a Hot Pocket before.
You need a better microwaving technique, because when I do my Hot Pockets are always warm all the way across the board. And yes, sure, you have Vesuvius in your mouth, but it's never cold in the middle. How do you need to work on your microwave technique.
How do you feel about the fact that due to tricky corporate naming conventions, you're actually paying for a cold pocket and then shelling out hard-earned money for electricity to turn it into a Hot Pocket, allegedly?
I don't know how you thought this was going to upset me. You do this with everything. You have to cook everything you bring home.
What about apples? You have to cook apples.
No, you don't have to cook apples, but if you want it nice and cold, you have to generate the cold for them to be in. Oh, I bought this meat. I don't want it to go to waste all of a sudden. Better invest in a fridge. This is part of the cycle.
Right, but it's not like I'm buying something called a burger. They're handing me a pound of raw beef. I'm buying a Hot Pocket, man, and they're holding me a weird ice pack.
Well, it's like they call them cold cuts, when you, like, a name for, ham, when you sliced ham, it's cold cuts. They don't call them hot cuts.
See, even the vegetarian understands what I'm saying, Alex.
Yeah, but, if I buy fried chicken in a bag, I still have to, heat it up. I don't know. This is, I feel like you were trying to fish a little too hard. I opened up a fucking energy drink this early in the morning just to try to, be like, Charlie's on his shit again. And no, I'm gone for a week, and this is the best you can come up with. I am disappointed. Dessert ravioli was much more hurtful to the heart, not just, in terms of my health, but, spiritually.
All the taste testing you had to do was hurtful.
Yeah, Hot Pockets, not that hurtful. There's no amount of burning you can do to my soul that a Hot Pocket hasn't done to my tongue already. Welcome to the Wicked Awesomecast episode 190. I am Alex, aka Mave Online. And yeah, I'm back. I know I was out last week, was not feeling too swell, but I have returned to annoy my cohorts here. My cohorts being Charlie, aka Mordak, Undivided, and of course, Henry, aka Nomad Har, also Kraken_0. But yes, the boys are back together, 100%. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm fine.
Why do you sound scared, Charlie?
I don't know.
I'm good. I'm not doing anything worthy of sandbagging just yet.
That's fair. I gotta stay poised at all times. It's not a tactic, it's a lifestyle now. The sandbag always has to be ready.
But yes, we are the Wicked Awesome Cast, and again, this is episode 190. We've got some news articles that are pretty good today. We've got some interesting stuff, some E3 related news, some Evo news that I just added. Charlie, don't click the link yet; it's a surprise. And yeah,
I think I already know about it, but
yeah. Well, I want to go over it because it's such an interesting thing to have to happen. But yeah,
okay.
But yeah, we've also got troll news. Star Citizen is still a thing.
When the fuck did we start summarizing our news as part of the intro? How far off the rails have we gone that this is what we're doing?
I just want to tease people ahead. I just want to tease people hey, you got a couple things coming. Just want to give you a heads up of what we got coming your way. Listen to the whole podcast to get all your details. It's like a preview.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah. How are you guys doing? I know I was out last week, so I want to catch up with you guys. But go ahead and let me know how your weeks have been.
I guess I'll go first. fine. I'm playing a game. I said I wasn't gonna play anymore again.
What are you playing?
Anthem.
Mm.
I don't know if that qualifies as playing a game, but go on.
The parts of that game I still like a lot. We'll get to this later, but some news, kind of like all it takes occasionally to go back to a game I liked but kind of fell off of is for them to be like, "Yo, we're coming back," and I'm like, "Oh, I should start playing this again, or at least download it."
If that's the case, sir, the Division 2 announced a new expansion. You ready to play some
that.
Division 2? Oh! I thought all it took was to announce something's happening.
Yeah, if I had fun with it previously.
Oh, sounds like somebody's not true to their word.
No, I just think Anthem, even with all its problems, is a better game than Division 2.
Ooh, that's highly fucking debatable. But
As someone who's played both, I'd rather play what Anthem was at launch than whatever the fuck the Division 2 is at this point in time.
Fair.
Yeah, as the Schluter specialist on this podcast, I feel confident in saying, like, neither one is really worth your time, but, Anthem's kind of fun still. The Division 2 is basically Wildlands with a loot system. Not as good. It's actually weird you bring this up. I had a long debate with someone online about, like, they were just kind of like, "Hey, I came back to Division 2. Why all the negativity towards this?" And I'm like, we're not actively negative about the Division 2. Just no one wants to play it right now. Like, people fell off that game so fucking hard. It's like, it's one of those things like, no one's mad at the game. We're all sitting there being like, "Man, I wish this was good." We're just sitting there being like, "Man, I wish this game didn't actually come out, I guess." It's like, yeah, I paid for this. Was it bad? No. Why'd you stop playing it? I just did. Like, Anthem at least is like, why'd you stop playing it? It was bad.
I don't know. I particularly enjoyed Division 2 for a while, though.
Yeah, the same way I enjoyed Anthem for a little while. The same way I can enjoy many a loot shooter game for a period of time, but, like, what makes the Division unique at this point in this land of loot shooters that we all have?
Say that again?
It's by BioWare.
But that means that puts it in the same company as Breakpoint.
I don't even know Breakpoint.
That's the Ghost Recon sequel to Wildlands that added a loot system. That's the problem. Like, Wildlands was more the game I wanted the Division to be in some ways than the Division was, and like I still hate how combat feels in that franchise. Like, I hate how many bullets it takes to kill anything in that game.
Yeah, there's a thing to combat. There's a balance there. It's like bullet sponges. I think you have to be very.
I play a lot of Destiny, so I'm fine with bullet sponges. I'm not fine with bullet sponges that they're wearing fucking hoodies. Like, how many layers of cardboard do they have under that hoodie? They're tanking SMG rounds.
It's John Wick fabric hoodies.
Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It definitely makes more sense you see somebody wearing literal power armor and all sorts of, and shielding and
yeah,
they take a while to take down, and they're also giant. But
at least fucking
dude in a hoodie.
This Borderlands 3 calls them badasses. I'm like, okay, they're badasses. Got it. That explains the weird bullet resistance. It's like, no, it doesn't. But
yeah.
But more important than that, I watched something this week that's very pertinent to our gaming podcast.
Oh,
I saw the Sonic movie.
Awesome! I've been dying to go see that. I just haven't yet.
It is better than it has any right to be. It really is.
I feel like it was going to be decent. I mean, honestly,
it is better than it has any right to be. Like, it is defendably a fun movie, and they get a surprising amount of, like, Sonic into it from a gameplay perspective that I did not expect there to be. Like, there is a rings dropping mechanic. There is, like, an explanation for, like, why Sonic's, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, the movie makes far more sense than it should, and it contains way more, like, fun nods to video games than I thought you could put into a movie like this. Like, if you're adapting fucking Sonic, like, it's like, okay, how do you translate this in? Oh, that's how you translate it in. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's also let's talk about the Sonic movie, I guess. It finally addresses the true lore of the Sonic franchise, which is the story of the patriotic and good guy Dr. Robotnik, aka Dr. Eggman, and the alien terrorist known as Sonic.
Sounds oddly specific.
That's kind of the premise of the movie. It works. Fucking Jim Carrey kills it as Robotnik.
See, I feel like he would. I mean, all right, I haven't really seen Jim Carrey phone it in so often. He doesn't really tend to do that.
This is some, like, mask level Jim Carrey, though. Like, this is some ridiculous Jim Carrey you've not seen in a long time. Like, the writing for him is fantastic. His delivery for it is fantastic. Like, it is, for a movie that is indeed, like, intended to be a family thing, so it's fun for all ages, they squeeze what you want out of Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik out of Jim Carrey in this movie. Like, it is, his villainy is joyful and, like, restrained in a way. It's a different version of Robotnik, but, like, it's the same, like, Robotnik-esque thing you've come to expect after being a Sonic fan for so long. It's like it's a fantastic interpretation of it. Like, they throw in an Eggman joke. Like, it's everything about Robotnik is so well handled. It's insane. Like, he is easily the star of the entire fucking movie. Just, like, any scene he's in, he fucking steals. The lines for him are great. Like, just he is fantastic. Like, it's worth seeing this movie alone for Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree. But then again, like, Jim Carrey's always been really good at playing these, like, obscene characters.
That's just it, though, too. Like, it's not an R-rated character, but it's like, there's a lot going on in this movie that, again, like, you wouldn't expect there to be. Like, it's a pretty basic plot, but, like, it doesn't have any real stumble points. Like, it's got all of it. The amount of fan service they cram into the movie is ridiculous, and they justify it in, like, weirdly okay ways, but not, like, in cringy okay ways. Like, fuck. They make a point of giving Sonic the Sonic shoes at one point, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard about it, and it's nice to hear that that it's turned out well. I felt like there's a good chance it would. I mean,
it's like, this movie will win no Oscars. I hope it does well enough that we get a sequel out of it, because, like, this movie is defendably fun. Like, it's maybe a little bit longer than it should be, but also, like, I never felt it was slow the entire time. Like, again, no one except Jim Carrey's at the peak of their acting abilities in this movie, but also, like, it's fucking Jim Carrey who's, like, every scene he's in is this joyful ridiculousness. Like, they gave Robotnik an extended dance montage at one point where it's like, why is this here? Because Jim Carrey. All right.
See, I heard that and I like that it's been correctly marketed in a sense, in that it's something that people will take their kids to. Like, for the parents, they grew up in the era of the first, when Sonic was introduced. But it's also properly a kid's movie. I've heard that, it's a properly a kid's movie. You can take a kid of any age to it, and it's suitable. So that's cool. And I think that's a great idea. I mean, and it's also just, that is the perfect marketing for a movie like Sonic. Like, like they got that one right on target.
Yeah, it's the movie's having fun the entire time, which I don't know. I expect this movie to be more cringy or kind of like, well, Alex made it or something. Just going, look what we did there. But no, like, it has its moments where you're like kind of eye roll, whatever. But
the thing is, low expectations video game movie.
Yeah,
we at this point we know what that everybody knows.
Yeah, like the flow chart I saw makes the most sense is like, should I see the Sonic movie? Yes, no, both go to the same thing. Do you hate kids movies? Like, that's the actual question. Like, it's the. You don't have to care about who the fuck Sonic is to enjoy this movie. It helps. Yes. Like, it makes, like... But at the same time, though, too, there's a certain aspect of, like... I don't know how much of this is true pre the redesign or whatever, but like the final product has a reverence for the games that's kind of cool. Like they go through and basically remake the entire movie at the end in like a 30-second 8-bit like credit scroll thing, and it's neat. Like they get they basically take like Jim Carrey's Robotnik and 8-bitify him, and it's like, oh, this is cool, or 16-bit, whatever the fuck the Genesis was, and it looks accurate. And you're like, this is fun. Like this is like fuck they managed to justify why the movie takes place in Green Hill Zone.
Huh.
Green Hill Zone is Montana. It's Green Hills, Montana.
Oh, really?
That's how the movie plays it off. Like that's clever. That's the cleverness the movie goes to, where it's like, we don't call it Green Hill Zone. It's just Green Hill, Montana.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's fun. That's cool.
The justification of where the fuck Sonic comes from and why he's on Earth and like is a superpowered hedgehog is fine. Like it even sets it up to like, yo, we can totally bring Knuckles into this bullshit because, okay, like to rip off an article a little bit, the weirdest fucking part of the entire movie is an owl in a movie about a supersonic blue hedgehog.
Yeah, I am very excited to go see it. Now that I've heard like, people that I know saying that, oh no, this is an enjoyable movie. Watch this movie. Yeah, it will be fun.
It's fine. I'd find something the wrong word. It's fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, there was the fear just because, not because it's Sega or Sonic, so much that it's just like video game movie.
Okay, so you remind me of the weirdest part in my book of the entire thing. So, like all things now, Sega has a Sega movie logo thing they put at the start of a movie, and like many of these things, it's clips from whatever. They happen to show some of the worst Sega clips as part of this thing ever, and I'm like, wait, that game was terrible, that game was terrible, that game was terrible. Like hell, they have clips from one of the worst Sonic games ever as part of this. The one you get chased by an orca at one point. I don't remember what the fuck it was. Like it was a 3D one that was undeniably terrible. Like, and I'm like, wait, I'm watching this. I'm like, this is not a good omen.
It would have been 06 is, everybody says 06 is the worst.
Possible,
because
yeah.
It is. It's fucking terrible. It's really not good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're also the one that's the weird one with the weird designs.
Yeah,
I forget. That's the one. I think that's Sonic. I think that's Sonic Heroes, maybe, where you have the
also 3. That one that did not make an appearance. What I'm talking about is the Orca one that was like the first super bad one.
Yeah. And see, it wasn't because it was 3D. They had already gone successfully.
Yeah, no, that's the problem. It was
way
just
before
bad.
that. Like Sonic Adventure is great. Yeah. Like both of them are fun. Like I love the Sonic Adventure series 1 and 2. They're undeniably solid games. Like I mean, it's tough to make the move to 3D because often it's not necessarily great. But but it's like, but 06 was just immeasurably awful. So
yeah.
But yeah, I am definitely now more excited than even before to go see the movie.
Yeah, it's worth seeing. Like if you have any reverence for Sonic, go watch this bullshit. It's fun. The setup for a sequel is acceptable, and it's what you want it to be. Like literally the first 5 minutes of the movie are the only kind of like part, and like even most of that's okay. It's only like 30 seconds, so you're like, where the fuck this owl come from? Yeah, but like it's like they have a like Sonic comes from a planet that's basically just a fucking Sonic level. Like Cloud says, yeah, it's got naturally occurring half pipes and ramps, and you're like, what? Easy access to naturally occurring loop-de-loops, and you're like, what? That's not how nature. Oh, okay. On this weird ass planet, it is, I guess.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Me and my wife had Valentine's Day. A busy week on my end, work wise. Yeah. Anthem and Sonic.
Nice.
Yeah. And Destiny, but okay, actually, yeah. Fuck the Crimson Days event. Like, fuck that thing so hard. It's a terrible event.
I didn't take part in it.
You shouldn't. It's terrible. I don't know why I'm participating in it. It's not fun. I hate every second I spend involved in it.
Yeah, I went ahead and did go to Lord Shack's to check it out, and I was like, this doesn't seem fun.
If you like the bow is worth getting, and it's pretty easy to get the bow, but yeah.
I do like bows, but is it the better bow than other bows?
No, it's just a good bow.
Okay. Because I have a kinetic and an energy bow right now.
Yeah, this is just
and I kind of like them both.
This is a good bow. It's got a good loadout on it, but yeah, yes. But you can also get the single ladies dance, I guess, as an emote out of it, so. It's called the sassy dance.
Of course it is.
Sassy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Go for it.
Okay.
Don't sound so dejected.
So, I mean, Valentine's Day happened. So, Maddie and I actually drove out to the Oregon coast for Valentine's Day. And it was really nice out there. Yeah, it was really pretty. It was nice and gloomy, which is the kind of weather I really enjoy. So we hung out there. We got to play the arcade, and that's where I did the most Charlie-ass thing I could have done. And it was buying various exotic animals for consumption.
Oh, what'd you eat? What'd you eat?
I haven't eaten it yet because I bought the jerkies for it. But I bought alligator, ostrich, pheasant, boar, wild boar. Yeah, a couple different ones. They have like a build your own crazy exotic meat jerky pack store for $25.
Nice.
And I bought like $25 of various jerkies.
Well, you are aware of the fact that jerky is the traditional gift of Valentine's Day in my relationship, right?
Yes, I remember. You're actually the one who put me onto the jerky bouquet thing.
The traditional gift of Valentine's Day jerky.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool because I saw all these, they had like alligator and pheasant, wild boar, and all that. And I'm like, this is the most Charlie-ass thing I can do. I'm going to buy this meat. And so
it's a good call.
I will report back as I consume these jerkies. Venison, elk, that stuff as well. I forgot exactly the whole list. I just remember what's the most exotic ass thing I can get? And I'm like, this. And so, yeah. But yeah, it was a really nice time. We drove back. The drive to the Oregon coast from Portland is gorgeous. It's a nice foresty, pretty drive. And so, overall it was nice. It did rain a little hard during the drive, but while Mandy and I were at the actual Oregon coast, it was really nice. So, so there was that. I think last week was the Super Bowl. Was that last week? I believe it was
2 weeks ago. Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So, that was unfortunate.
Hey, Alex.
What?
Both them 49ers.
Better than the fucking Patriots this year.
No. We didn't make it. We didn't lose in the Super Bowl. That's worse.
You lost before.
No, we got eliminated. We didn't lose.
You lost before. Don't be mad you weren't invited to the party this year.
Yeah, we've been there 6 times already in my lifetime. We're good. As a Patriots fan, it's really fun not to have to watch the Super Bowl this year. Man, this Sunday is so great now that I don't give a fuck about football this year.
The Niners may have lost, but football fans everywhere won because they didn't have to watch another Super Bowl with the Pats.
But the quarterback for the 49ers is a former Patriot, so...
But he's a 49er now.
He got stolen from the Patriots.
Doesn't matter. He's a Niner jersey. He's a Niner jersey. That's all that matters.
We'll let you keep believing that.
Thank you. And then, so yeah, I'm still taking apart boxes. I'm finally going to start putting together the game room because I just have slews of boxes. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to put things. But yeah, I also got a Roomba for the house. And let me tell you, Roombas are fucking amazing.
Did you tape a knife to it yet?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm not going full battle box because my dog's still a little bit when they see the Roomba go off. But yeah, I mean, I have 2 dogs. One of them is part husky, and she's shedding out her overcoat right now.
Yeah.
And it gets real bad.
Make sure you clean it because once those things get jammed, there's nothing you can do.
Oh no, this thing comes apart super easily to clean all the parts for it.
But also dog hair plus electric motors equals fascinating results.
Yeah, no, I clean it out. Like the bin gets full, so I make sure I clean it out. I unscrew one of the little brush thing that goes and spins around. I take out the rollers and make sure the hair gets pulled out of that. Like I'm pretty thorough about it. So that thing, let me tell you, if you're a dog owner and your dog sheds a little bit, a Roomba is fucking phenomenal. So, so we have it running overnight, which I also found out, by the way, the Roomba can run in complete darkness because it uses like infrared and something else, which I did not know.
Yep.
So, if anybody out there who's listening to this podcast works for Roomba and wants to sponsor the podcast, I would be happy to sample something you guys may have. I've got the 900, but I would always be happy to upgrade to one of the other ones if you work for Roomba. Hey, just a shout out. This is my way of trying to get something for free. But other than that, like things have been pretty good. The house is still getting settled in. It's hard to kind of like we want to start doing some of the outside landscaping stuff a little bit, but it's hard to do that because every time we have days off.
I've been trying to do that for 2 years. Good luck.
Well, our obstacle right now is the fucking rain. So
yeah,
because even if we want to clear some stuff out, like even a little bit, we have to wait for a pocket of time when it's not raining bad.
Hey, Alex, if you figure out what to do with the stuff once you clear it,
Mandy's gonna come up with that. That's her thing.
It's harder than you think it should be.
It's her thing. She's in charge of the landscaping. I just help out with moving stuff around. But as far as design and what's gonna go where, that's up to her.
Okay.
Other than that, that's pretty much where I'm at. I've been all right.
I suspect Portland is fucking annoyingly progressive the way LA is, and they don't want you just throwing that shit out.
Well, we have the green bin.
Those fill up real quick.
They do. We can do it piecemeal. Not a huge deal. I've got 30 years on this mortgage. I've got plenty of time.
Isn't it terrifying to think you're shackled to something for 30 years?
No, I don't even think about it in that long term just because I'm really happy that, like...
That's fair.
Like, I come home and I can start my washer and dryer whenever the fuck I want.
That is the best thing about homeownership.
Like, I want to just fucking walk around the house, like, in my underwear? Not a fucking problem. Although I have to make sure the windows are closed because I'm right next to a fucking school.
I'm next to multiple churches, so I understand that one.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
If I literally want to just jump in the shower or just run the laundry machine and the dryer at the same fucking time at 2 a.m, no one can fucking stop me.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a 2-door garage, so, like, kind of nice. Like, we pull the cars into the garage.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. So, 30-year thing to think about, sure. But let me tell you, those little things like that, fucking worth it. So, anyway, that's me.
Fair.
Oh, and of course, playing more WoW. So, there's that.
Henry?
Yeah, so I keep liking to check out. I keep checking out more and more shows in Crunchyroll. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I just like Crunchyroll a lot. I think it's definitely like I've been on Crunchyroll since like it started. I just thought it was of the services, of the sort of, of the streaming services, it's the only one I've ever been subscribed to. So, but yeah, I've been started watching something called The Case Files of Jeweler Richard.
Huh.
And it's kind of a human drama, mostly kind of lighter, not super heavy, and it revolves around a jeweler who's this jeweler in Japan, but he himself is not from Japan. He's a foreigner, but he speaks like 10 languages, including Japanese. So, but yeah, essentially it revolves around him and sort of this Japanese student, this college student who runs into him, like essentially helps him out. Like he's kind of got surrounded by some just sort of punks trying to steal from him, or to thieves basically, buggers. and they get to know each other, and he starts working for him part-time. And so the Japanese character is sort of, our introduction. That's the way, he's basically the Watson. He's a reason for talking about stuff or explaining stuff or introducing things. And but he's a cool enough character. He's a good enough character. He's they're both fun characters. Yeah, Richard, the jeweler. Yeah, he's basically starting a shop there, and so what happens is it kind of works like a detective show. I dig detective shows. I mean, that's probably also been clear. I mean, I even a lot of the anime I watch is.
I was gonna say you play a lot of dating simulators, which are often detective-ish.
Yes. So, yeah, this falls right in with that. Is essentially people bring in a piece of jewelry for evaluation. That's what he does.
Wait, so is this fucking Pawn Stars essentially?
Yeah, except fun and nice. But yeah, essentially. But it. So what happens is they go in, and then it's like, but it's some human drama going on. Is the ones that each episode focuses on is like something or another going on involving it. It's like usually involving something with like a relationship or family, and as well as some sort of nerdy information about jewels and minerals and stuff like that. And I also find that interesting. I mean, it's to find out, like, I didn't know what heat treatment was or what it was supposed to do, but a lot of gems are heat treated. I know that now. Yeah, and so and then it is essentially they end up sort of solving a human problem through the conduit of these jewel evaluations. Essentially, I mean, what Richard does, his job is people bring in a piece of jewelry for him to evaluate. And he then kind of goes off and also gets other experts in, essentially. He's kind of like the doorway to that, I guess. So he goes off, finds certain experts to help evaluate it, and then has cost. But that's never the point of the episode. Like, the episodes revolve around why the piece of jewelry was brought in. And and the two characters, which hilariously, the other main character, the student, name is Seigi, and they play with it all the time because it means hero of justice. It's the kanji for hero of justice. And so they play off of that in a fun way all the time. I mean, even why he was named that, and the fact that he does act like sort of a dopey Boy Scout all the time. And he's sort of thick. And he's like, as in thick-headed. Like, he's kind of like, I don't know, it's fun. He's naive, I guess is the best way to describe the Seiki character. He's somewhat naive, but he's just sort of good-hearted Steve Rogers, essentially, type Captain America.
I was going to say, how does that work? Like, it's already okay?
Yeah, so he's just kind of, this dopey, good-natured, good-hearted guy.
Sure.
But yeah, so the interaction off each other, where Richard's just very refined but incredible. Like, they even made it a point to talk about, like, one of the requirements of working for Richard is, like, you cannot discriminate on the basis of like sex or sexual orientation or gender identification or race or or country of origin. Like,
sure.
They actually like say that right out at the beginning of one of the episodes, where it does become a thing. There's a reason for it later on in the episode that's more revealed, but I mean, that's cool. I like that. That's a fun thing about the show. But it's good. There again, it's one of these feel good shows. It has a lot of heart to it. It's fun. It's well done, and yeah, it kind of also hits the thing of talking in detail about some subject, in this case jewels and jewelry, that I also find interesting because I just like learning about stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's super cool. So as games, I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 still. I got my first piece of exotic armor.
Nice.
It's really good. I mean, it's perfect for me. It's the one where if you melee something, it reloads your weapon. And Oh, it's so good with the shotgun.
Which one is that one?
With the armor. Actually, let me just pull it up on my Destiny app.
What class do you play, Henry? I don't
He
think
plays
I've ever
Hunter.
asked you. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of like the, go fast. Like
He's a flippy boy.
Yep.
So what you're saying is you got to go fast.
I go fast. Yeah, I've always preferred the quicker characters.
You need to get some grave robber perks, my friend.
But I do. I have some guns with that. Sealed Aham.
Yes, the shiny boys.
They are good. They are so good because, yeah, like I said, they auto reload your weapon, and oh god, they work perfectly in tandem with the perfect paradox shotgun.
Yeah,
because basically it's like, I melee and reload it, then unload 3 shots, then melee and reload it.
Yeah, especially for entrenched. For that, it's pretty damn effective.
Yeah, that's what I say. Because I have the perfect paradox with the trench barrel mod, and so I can just I literally never have to stop to reload ever, and I get 3 powerful shots, melee again, 3 powerful shots, and it melts some bosses, something serious like both the kind of champion type characters and the bosses. So yeah, that's been good. So yeah, that exotic, and I mean, it's the reloading thing is even why for the hunter I'm using the ability, the version of the main, the class ability where when you use the dodge button, it reloads your weapon. Because that is a thing, especially when you use some of the guns I use. Like I like to use the I like the pistols and I like the hand cannons. And the hand cannons are very slow to reload. And so anything that makes the reload instantaneous makes those guns way more even useful. So so I use, and with the shotguns as well. And so because it just takes time to load you have to load each bullet individually with the shotguns.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this new piece of exotic armor, I just melee and it reloads, and that's even better than the using the class ability to do it, because the melee you can just do that repeatedly. Like the class ability has cooldown, the melee there's no real cooldown, because it also works with the class melee. Like whenever I have it on the dagger version now, throwing knives, and I can throw the knives and that reloads my gun, so that's cool. But yeah, so I'm really liking this piece of armor. It's super good. It is absolutely perfect for the type of character I play, where I just like to get in enemies' faces and just fire away. And this means I don't have to duck away to reload ever again.
I'm running my asshole PvP build right now. It basically lets me go invisible, gain an overshield, and drop a bomb all on every time I dodge. With max class ability refresh.
So that's which class
that's
is
Hunter
that? That's
still.
That is Hunter. Oh. But it's because of the armor you're wearing.
So Night Stalker, one of the versions of it, when you dodge, you turn invisible. Then I have a mod on me that every time I activate my class ability in Void, I gain an overshield. And then the exotic I'm running is the Bombardier Pants that drop a grenade every time I dodge. It's great.
That's pretty awesome, actually. Yeah,
it needs to get fixed. It's a little bit broken.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my current loadout with the Hunter. Like I said, with this piece of exotic armor, which is, like I said, perfect for me. Yeah, as far as abilities, I threw stuff on. I've been using the stuff for advanced bow loader, the stuff for the bows, on my armor. That's been useful to me. And let's see, what else do I? Oh yeah, I have high energy fire, molten overload. Oh yeah, I'm using because my grenades are solar, and now they cause disruption. So that's good. But yeah, I don't really do PvP so much, and so because I already mentioned I'm not a big fan of it already. But one thing I am using definitely is I changed over the cloak I'm using to to a Void Cloak because I have some class Void abilities that are way better. Essentially, I use the Better Already and Healthy Finisher, which are just good for healing. I mean,
the finisher should work on everything, I think, but I don't know at this point.
Oh yeah, it seems like they work on everything. Yeah. So, yeah, Healthy Finisher and Better Already, they're both void specific. So I have them on my float. It's because they allow me to stay right in the thick of it. Like, because I kind of tend to I love to just get in enemies' faces and just shoot them, unload with a hand cannon or a shotgun. And with these, now my loadout is very perfect for that. But yeah, I also picked up the World Line Zero sword. Because that was the exotic swords to pick up. Because that's just Collectathon. Collectathon was a little bit annoying, but it wasn't bad. I didn't have to, again, it's like I wasn't resetting on some weird boss on a strike or something.
It's just a shit ton of escalation protocol, right? If I'm thinking of the right weapon.
No. Oh, if you want, no. That was, no. Warline Zero was just get the collectibles on Mars. Like, shoot all the targets.
Oh, got it. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, and so the escalation protocol thing was enough for another weapon thing I'm on the way to getting. I forget.
There are several that kind of blur together. One of them is, what's it called? Sleeper Simulant you get through escalation protocol stuff.
Yeah, the World Line Zero sword is just the Mars Collectathon. And then you can get I haven't gotten the exotic to drop yet, but you get the exotic
Catalyst
mod to drop. Catalyst, yeah. But that's just use the sword to kill enemies.
Most of them are from that. Most Season 1 Catalysts are shoot things in the face.
Yeah. And so I'm sure I'll pick up the Catalyst for that fairly quickly. But sword itself is fun. I mean, it has if you're running, you teleport forward when you use the heavy attack, so that's fun.
Yep, it's used by speedrunners.
Yep. But it's, definitely, I mean, it's great to just pop up in the middle of a bunch of enemies and just annihilate them, because the swords are powerful. And the World Line Zero is a good sword. I definitely, now I like the loadout I have right now. I'm pretty happy with the weapons and pretty happy with the armor that I have. Though I wish the armor had a little bit better shield on it.
Maybe you can fix that with mods, but yeah.
Yeah, that's not the only thing. Like, my regeneration at this point is the shield regeneration is pretty good though. But yeah, so yeah, I still play KOF All-Star regularly because, like I said, it's the only game that I've played, phone game that I've played that's just fun to play, because I just like side-scrolling beat 'em ups, but also it just throws so much stuff at you for free. Like, if you just log in every day and do a couple of things, you'll have more of the sort of currency than you'll ever need. I have 5,000 rubies now. And in perspective, it's it doesn't cost much rubies at all to do pretty much anything, or to buy things, or to summons. All right, so if you want to buy summons, it's only 90. So it's only 90 rubies, and I have 5,000. And I haven't bought any rubies. That's purely just from the free stuff you get just from playing the game. So yeah, and in gold, I have crap tons of gold. I have more gold than I'll ever need. I have millions. And I have way leveled up characters and battle cards and everything. And I still have more than I need. But yeah, it throws the stuff at you, but also that makes me more willing to spend money on it. I haven't spent any more money on it in a while. I've spent about $5 on it so far. I'll probably end up spending a little more on it just because it throws stuff at you free. Now, I am annoyed still because I can't seem to get the character I want, which is Leona, but I'm sure I'll get another chance at some point. They'll probably throw her in the regular roster at some point. I think it is funny. I'm obviously, I guess, not the only Leona fan, and that's why they've kind of held off on adding her to the main roster. So, but yeah, so that's me in gaming. for the week. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, should we jump into the news?
I believe it's news time, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start this one off with some fucking Star Citizen news.
Are they still around?
Oh, they're still around, and they are still making way too much fucking money. So, Star Citizen, a Kickstarter game that has already raised way too much fucking money, raised an additional 131.5 million over the last 2 years.
Cool.
47.7 of which was last year, 2019. But hey, the beta for the single player might come out this year.
After 7 years, 8 years, how many years now? We're getting along into the decade.
Let's look at the chart quickly. So, if we're looking at this chart, which is already depressing as fuck as it goes, it's broken down by millions earned and years. So in 2012, the year of the Kickstarter, Star Citizen was sitting at a cool 7.23 million. Not too shabby. That's a pretty good budget for a game.
Yeah.
For kind of amount taken in that year in. So this is cumulative, by the way. This is not cumulative. So this is just what's picked in that year. So 2013, pretty big jump to 28.37 million. Followed by in 2014, 32.94 million. In 2015, 35.94 million. Followed in 2016 by 36.11 million. In 2017, 34.91 million. In 2018, 37.76 million. And again, in 2019, 47.74 million. You may have noticed that means the number only went down once in years. People keep putting fucking money into this game.
And keep in mind, that is just pledged dollars. That's just donations. We're not even talking about the sales of their fucking virtual ships. Those,
I think those are intermixed.
Already,
but I don't. It doesn't. No, that's just
that doesn't.
Fair enough.
Is those alone are 267 million.
Yeah, fuck everything.
Just the sales. The sales of the fucking fake, non-existent fucking ships, as far as they've reported, 267 million for the fucking not real ships.
But hey, we're getting the fucking Karak this year, so Karak, how the fuck you pronounce it? So good fucking job, Star Citizen community. Stardust strong.
I mean, being a person who actually did play like the Wing Commander games and found them fun.
As someone who owns like a Founders Edition or whatever the equivalent of Star Citizen, like, this is gross.
You're just throwing money at them to basically do nothing. I mean, this is all right. So this isn't a dig at virtual artists because it's hard to make stuff like 3D modeling. There's a reason I don't do it because it's hard. It's not. It's something I would have to devote all of my time to doing if I was to do it well, and I'm already a programmer. So, yeah, but you don't need that much money to create a model. Like, it doesn't take you years. I mean, it'll take you definitely months.
Let us not
create a really good ship model and to design it, get the art right, have it look cool, have it.
We have debated
but
this topic too many times. I think this game is the poster child for feature creep among a variety of other things. Like,
yes,
and that's
absolutely.
the issue. Some of the stuff they've done in that feature creep is defendably cool, but also stuff you could totally work on after the game comes out and does not need to be part of the original launch.
Or you could just put out the first game and have a fucking sequel. Yeah. It's jeez. I mean, seriously.
Every day we stray further away from God's light.
No, this is to God's light. The dark God, the true God, the gaming God. The God that gives us dark gifts like confirming that Anthem 2.0 is indeed fucking coming. Hey, Alex, is Anthem dead?
What? Anthem's 100% dead.
No, it's not. It's under active development.
In its current state, it is dead.
No, it's not.
In its current state, it is
Unlike
dead.
the Matrix Online, it's coming back.
Yeah, because I'm sure we're trusting the company that said Anthem would be a complete and fun experience.
Oh, fuck no.
We're trusting this company. Oh, don't worry, guys. It's still coming down the pipeline.
The in-game store is very active.
Of course the fucking store is active.
All right, so yes, as of this week, BioWare and EA have gotten out there and confirmed that Anthem 2.0, the long-rumored and hinted at and wildly speculated thing we all thought was coming, but maybe it wasn't because, God, that seems insane, is indeed happening. The Anthem 2.0 is under full development. They've gotten out there and said such crazy things as, we're not going to talk about this game a lot until we have time to really test it, which makes you wonder what the fuck was going on with Anthem previously. But all jokes aside, it's kind of cool to see them standing by this game like this. As someone who's played some Anthem this week, there's still something in that game that is defendably cool. It's not a good game by any measure, but also they've pretty heavily telegraphed that this will be free when it drops, so maybe getting Anthem for $5, which I'm pretty sure you can do, not the worst move right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like something like this is impossible. Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV was not good before they relaunched it, but they had to be willing to really, really meaningfully overhaul it, because that's Final Fantasy XIV before and after is two fucking different games.
Yeah, 100%. As a guy who played both, 100%.
Well, and I think the most important kind of takeaway from this whole announcement is Anthem, as it currently exists, will stay up and running while the team hammers away at the rework. The live version of the game will still offer events and store refreshes. In the meantime, full seasons, however, are on hold in order to better devote development efforts towards the redesign, though previous seasonal content will be revisited in the interim. So basically, what's in the game's gonna cycle through again. So if you're like me and you missed all that stuff, because why the fuck would you play Anthem after that first month? You can go check it out again, which is cool because the game had a pretty aggressive kind of cosmetic system, but also you could buy all that stuff with in-game currency. So there's a reason to at least maybe play it a little bit in the meantime. Not a lot, but if you're curious about Anthem, there's never been a better time in some ways to grind premium currency to spend on cool cosmetics. But Anthem 2.0 is coming.
Don't do it. Don't fall for it, guys. Don't do it.
It's also for $5. It's a fine game. Speaking of fine games, I guess. I don't fucking know. Valve banned 40,000 Dota 2 accounts.
Holy shit.
I feel like they've banned more recently, too. This is not the biggest number of Dota 2 accounts I've heard about banned.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it seems like a lot of them were smurfing, or because of smurfing.
Okay, so I am wrong. Back in January of 2019, they banned 17,000 accounts. This is indeed the biggest one. But yeah, it's for those curious kind of what the crux of this whole thing is, smurfing is technically a violation of the terms of service. You're not supposed to do it. I get that everyone does it, but you're not supposed to. I get it. You want to go down some ranks and play with some people worse than you? I totally understand that. But also, fuck you. Yeah. I'm going to take a quick break from our normal gaming kind of news coverage, and it's not so much gaming news, but it's kind of an update on a thing we've talked about in the past that I know at least me and Henry care maybe a little bit too much about, and it does play into a larger concept in the gaming space as a whole, which is the SCP, kind of the inspiration, if you will, for Control in some ways, or at least kind of the pseudoscience of Control in many ways. Is the Russian branch of it is essentially attempting to be claimed by a Russian troll saying he created it.
Yep, trademark trolls, copyright trolls. And so, all right, so those of you who aren't aware, if you don't know what SCP is, it's a collaborative fiction project. It's sci-fi. and it's done and everything. All the stories are done sort of in universe. That is, they read like they read very purposely to read like this is a report that was done on this weird sci-fi / supernatural thing that happened. Like, and it's very much like Control's logs when they talk about experiments and items are very much SCP, came from SCP. And so SCP itself is, they license it, everything done it under in the wiki is under the Creative Commons Share Alike 3.0 license. So if you're not familiar with what Creative Commons is sort of the idea of copyleft. So copyleft is kind of a counterbalance to the idea of copyright. Copyleft allows people on a special, different versions of the license to use it or rework it, refine it, and sell it or not. And so what it allows people to do is, if you put out something on a Creative Commons, somebody else could, under this license, they can expand on it, that is, riff on it, expand it, sell merch of it, even make media from it, like new media, like video games or movies or whatever. But you have to attribute it to the original author. And whatever work you make from it also must carry the same license. So if you create something with it, that means somebody else could riff on your work. So let's say you make a video game about a SCP case, one of the cases. Somebody could say, well, I think I'll make a sequel because that's allowed under the license. They can't steal your code if you use to program it, but as far as the work itself, the fictional background, the story, all that stuff, that's under the Share Alike license. So and there are different Creative Commons things, but I just wanted to give that background on why this is so egregious. So what's happening is, yes, like a Russian trademark troll is has already claimed a copyright in Russia for SCP and everything created under SCP. And he's already admitted that he did it so that he can create to sell stuff on it, but be the only one to make money from it, and to make sure that nobody else can. And that's the big thing. It's not about that he's trying to make money off of it. That's allowed under as far as like under the spirit of the license. You just can't
claim ownership of it.
Yes, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to claim absolute ownership of it so that nobody else can make money off of it. And so what happened? The first thing that happened where they found out about it was so if you're not familiar with VK is the popular social website in Russian language, social media website, and SCP Russia, which there is a smaller teams for localization, for translation essentially of the wiki itself. They got kicked off of VK because he made a copyright claim on their account. Because he said, he went to the Russian, essentially the Russian version of our copyright, our trademark office, and paid for a trademark for it, register the SCP Foundation. And so he went on to VK and had them kicked off, and that's how they found out about it.
Yeah,
and he kicked them. He talked to them, and they said, he told them to fuck off. Like this is the troll saying this, Duxin. I don't know how to pronounce his name necessarily, but he contacted the SCP Russia, and SCP Russia, of course, said, no, you don't own this trademark. Nobody does. That's the point. But he had them kicked off of VK because then the VK admins had to concede at this moment because legally he does have the standing because he went to the Russian Foundation, Russian government, and trademarked it. But yeah, he did it so that he could be the only one to pursue films and games and stuff and make money off of it. But nobody else gets to. And if anybody else does, he wants that money too. He wants a share of that money. And that's really what it's about. I think it's even more about that than anything else. Like, he's probably wanting to make media off it, but also, if anybody else does, he wants a share of that pie as well. So, fuck this dude.
And so, why we bring it up on our gaming podcast, because we're not a legal podcast or a general of the internet's thing podcast, is because I know this sounds like, oh, this can't spill over lots. This happens all the fucking time in the tech world. Like, This type of trolling is a very real problem a lot of companies face, especially with exceedingly vague copyright stuff, where it's like, the wording on this basically says you own the internet. Well, yeah, but I can't own the internet now, just own anything that comes out about the internet after this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, I mean, this is far reaching, and, these, like, for instance, the more infamous thing that people may be knowledgeable about is, in the gaming sphere, is Edge.
Yeah.
The guy that tried to trademark literally anything gaming related with the word Edge. And it was stupid, and he finally got beaten in court for a couple of those things. He even got a piece of the pie on Edge magazine because of that bullshit, which he had nothing to do with. And he's produced no game. They've produced 0 games. People have checked it out specifically. Yeah, that's what this guy is doing. This Andre Duxin. He's just sitting on the copyright because he wants a piece of every pie and nobody else gets any. And that's, like I said, that's goes against everything that SCP is about, which is, like I said, the Creative Commons share alike license, which is you're free to use it, you just can't claim absolute ownership over it. So what they've been doing is, and maybe some of our listeners might be interested, you can give to their legal fund. And so right now, SCP English language group, which is the larger group, are trying to raise visibility of it to support the SCP Russia team, which is a much smaller team. And yeah, they're just they can't do it on their own. They'll just get So the case is now in court and it's ongoing. We'll have to see where that goes, but I have to say it's not going to be it can't possibly be a long case. Like, anybody would look at this and be like, you didn't create this. You obviously didn't fucking create this. You have nothing. You have no proof to say that you created SCP. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I think, and that's why I think ultimately is why this particular fellow went after the smaller piece of the pie, SCP Russia. It's because he realized that he couldn't go up against literally everybody. Like, the American team would be too big and better funded to be able for that to fall through. But yeah, he's kind of aroused the rest of the internet. Markiplier has increased visibility on it. Good for him. He created a video talking about it in detail. He's known for loving SCP stuff and horror games in general, and so it's not a surprise that Markiplier would want to amplify that message. But yeah, this is something that's it's been happening in the tech world a lot, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was going to try to even get a piece of Control through that. Claim that Control copied the SCP, and because he owns SCP, he owns everything. So yeah, I hope they bury this fuckhead.
Yes, but unfortunately we have to move on to other fuckheads. Let's talk about Starbreeze. Starbreeze is back? Kind of? Sort of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, people that don't know, they created the Payday series. And that's really what's bringing in their money.
Let's take a step back. So, GTFO is created by the people that used to work for Starbreeze that said, "Nah, I'm out of this bullshit" after making Payday, kind of thing. Like, they are the creative people behind the Payday franchise that said, "No, it's time to leave."
Yeah,
this shit be fucked.
Yep. Yeah, it's basically we have a couple of news because one thing is they're rebounding essentially. They've actually managed to make some money during this sort of basically they were in a form of bankruptcy. We talked about
this a while ago, long enough ago too that Henry reminded me. He's like, "We talked about this." I'm like, "We did?"
But other news for it, part of the reason why they were in trouble is Well, the former CEO Starbreeze has officially been convicted of insider.
I need to go
trading.
back and read it because there was a fantastic Eurogamer kind of expose about all this stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And so, yep, he is. He got convicted. The fine is kind of small, but I'm not sure what else is going to come of the. It's not clear what else is going to come of the decision, but yeah, has been convicted. The former executive has been convicted of insider trading, and I think there's other people also involved that may still be in the court system at the moment. But yeah, this is a part of the why they got in such one of the main reasons they got in such big trouble. And it's a story. It's worth looking up on Eurogamer. So it'd be easy enough to find the sort of ongoing saga of this awful stuff. But yep, that's Starbreeze update.
Starbreeze update of the week.
So
I got nothing after that.
Yeah.
So that means go play GTFO.
Yeah, actually, it's really good. I should play more of it.
I don't have it. I should probably pick it up.
I think it'd be up your alley.
Yeah.
Where to go next with this? Well,
Anyways.
let's stick with scumbaggery. So, let's talk about Activision. And so this is going to go some places, so try and follow us some. So, before we can talk about Activision, we have to talk about the NVIDIA GeForce Now, which is kind of an under-the-radar streaming solution for those who don't have consoles. As the name implies, it's put up by NVIDIA. It requires certain hardware, and it's got some weird pricing and time frames that go along with it, but it in very much ways is probably what Stadia should have been. You link your Steam library to it, and then you can kind of just play lots of the games and stuff, which is real cool.
Yeah, so that's the big thing, and this is the thing to remember, that it does link to existing game libraries from Steam, Uplay, and the Epic Games Store. So, Epic Games bad, but go ahead.
Yes, Epic Games indeed bad.
Epic bad.
But they're not. Activision is. So Activision kind of announced in a big show that they were pulling out of this. That they were basically said all the games they had could not be played on the GeForce thing. And a variety of weird stories have come out around this, like ranging from is Activision Blizzard, sorry, I gotta make sure I say the full title, Activision Blizzard, are they gonna like try and launch their own streaming platform? Are they in talks with other people? Like, in their defense, hey, this is probably like a weird licensing thing where like what you bought was the consumer version essentially, where this in theory lets an infinite number of people have access to a game that maybe you'll have to pay a license for a couple times. Like, it's a weird loophole, and like
they want people to repay for it, just like Stadia. And the thing is, we already announced last week that they just made a big deal to use Google Cloud and stuff like that. So I think that's linked.
Yep. Well, so, and kind of as part of, and this is an ongoing thing, but there are now additional rumors around this that Activision and Stadia are having talks for some type of deal.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, it would make sense considering they just recently moved the Overwatch League to YouTube as their streaming platform. So it would not surprise me that they're in talks with Google for more stuff.
Yep.
And like this is because it would make a lot of sense, and not a lot of sense, but like if Stadia could suddenly be like, yo, you can stream COD on our platform, that's not a bad get for Stadia, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing. I mean, it's all, like I said, it's slimy because it's obviously an attempt to, they want people to pay for games twice. And, you know, I am among many people who are like, no, if it's basically the same, I mean, especially, I mean, it's more egregious with something like PC, you know, versus, you know, I have it on the PS4, but I can't also, I have to pre-buy the game if I want to play it on the PC. That, you know, that's still,
it is what it is, but yeah, like it's
in this case, this is it's still on the PC platform. They just want you to buy it again for the PC, which is what Stadia is asking you to do right now, anyways.
Hey, Stadia is its own thing, its own totally separate, equally good thing.
But yeah, that is the thing. Stadia is its own platform. Weirdly enough, that's kind of odd. Like I said, it's weird the fact that when I'm playing Destiny on Stadia, it's not just the PC Destiny, and that's
which is fucked, by the way. That's a whole separate topic.
Yeah. But in any case, I mean, it's the move. This move is obviously just a sign of what they're.
It's things to come, no doubt. Clear. At this point, it's. I knew the streaming stuff was gonna get weird before it started getting kind of handled out, and this is the weird I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this weird to happen this soon, I guess, kind of in its infancy, but not like maybe to engage in a touch of hyper. I was going to say hyperbole just to piss people off, but hyperbole for a second. This is the kind of shit that'll kill streaming for the near future.
Mm-hmm.
Like the GeForce One, not perfect, but it's what that whole setup probably should be, which is you own the game, you can stream the game.
Yep. Yeah, the GeForce Now service is honestly, I am more interested in GeForce Now than I am in Stadia, straight up, because I'll just use my Epic Games store and my Epic Games list and my Steam Games list, and I'd be willing to pay for that, to play it on a weaker on a weak laptop or I don't know. You see, that's the thing. Because there are so many competing ones right now, I didn't even know that much about GeForce Now.
I forget it exists constantly.
Yeah.
I know enough that it's kind of a weird pricing system to it. You can download it right now. It's a thing you could be playing right now, and it's got stuff.
Yep. It's got Destiny too. I mean,
because PC has Destiny too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean.
Man, this just makes me want to buy a NVIDIA Shield, and I shouldn't.
But the thing is, it does have a free membership.
It's got a weird hour time frame to it and stuff, and queues.
Yeah, which is weird, but fair. I mean, fair enough. But,
it's not the weirdest thing I've come across in my gaming space.
Oh no, not definitely not. But yep. I think it's something that I would actually consider over. I think when my Stadia subscription runs out, I'm probably not going to keep it. It's very, very highly unlikely that I'm keeping it. But I'm more likely to get NVIDIA GeForce Now to replace it, to be honest, because I do like the idea of it.
I'm downloading it right now, so.
But I do like the idea of it, and so. There it is. Like I said, it's just the Stadia thing. Being able to play it on doesn't matter about my hardware, and that's the big thing. But
I'll let you know what I think of it next week.
All right.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Downloading it right now to my PC and my phone, because that's how the technology works. While we're still kind of talking about hardware and costs and stuff, let's talk about the PS5 real quick. Turns out the PS5 might be real expensive. Or not. It's not quite clear. Rumors seem to kind of place the PS4 at costing around $470, which isn't great, but also isn't the worst thing. It's about, we'll call it $70 more than the Xbox, not than the PS4 Pro was previously. Do we have pricing on the Xbox Series X yet?
Say that again?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm not sure.
We don't have pricing on any of this stuff yet, and admittedly, this is all still speculative pricing. Sony did not get out there and announce, this is what's going to cost. But the manufacturing cost of the units kind of sits roughly around $450. So based on normal markups and actually having to make money, $470 looks like a pretty common guess for how much things going to cost, and that's because the parts inside of it are fucking expensive, and our dear friend the coronavirus is causing part of this. Turns out,
damn you, Corona!
Turns out, can't manufacture shit. Supply and demand kicks in.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they already don't make a whole lot off of the hardware sales, like Sony doesn't. Like for their consoles, they really rely on volume and other stuff to make their money, and it just being Sony. But yeah, that would give it it would be expensive and still have a very, very low. I mean, when I say low, it's like they're only making like $20 or $30 a console, and that's which considering like making 1/10 profit margin, that's pretty small for a profit margin for anything. It's not uncommon for hardware in general. I'm used to it. All right, so briefly, I worked in an electronics store, and so I know a little bit about what markups, and I knew that, but I know that like computer equipment has very, very small markups. Like it was peripherals where the money was made, like peripherals and cables where all the money was made, especially cables, because cables markup is, by the way, insane. Like, yeah, for cables of all types, it's the markup's huge. But yeah, for hardware, it's not, and this makes it even worse. Yeah, the shortages.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, nothing's been officially announced, so we'll see. I believe Sony has it a couple times in the past operated a loss on consoles, maybe not this extreme of a loss, for the purposes of getting them fucking out there. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Keep hitting my microphone. I apologize if that's still in the recording when I get done fixing it. Yeah. So we're returning to an old form. You veteran podcast listeners will kind of understand what we're going to do in a little bit. We're going to do kind of our long form topic because we have a bit of a weird piece of news to dig into this week. We've got two things to get to before then. All right, Alex, I'm going to open up the Evo thing now. Should I just click the link and open it and react to it?
Sure.
Do you want to set this one up? Like, what do you want to do?
Okay. I'll set it up. So we have the lineup announced for Evo 2020. And it's actually some interesting ones. So I'm going to go over these real quick here.
Did we talk about this last week?
So we've got... Did you talk about the lineup already? No, this just got announced this week.
We've not talked about this. Maybe it's been that long around.
Yeah. So we've got our usual Street Fighter V Champion Edition, which is the last, I guess, version of it that's out right now that has Seth and all that. Making a return is Tekken 7, Smash Brothers Ultimate. I guess the new entry for this year for one of the anime games is Grand Blue Fantasy.
Tell them what they are, the weeb trash games.
Yeah. Under Night and Birth is coming back as well. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, repping it up, of course. And then Soul Calibur 6 and Sam Show coming back. So I think that's all the games. There's no Melee. Actually, no, there is this small indie game that's coming back. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, baby. It's Marvel, baby. It's Marvel.
Only this year, baby.
I like the fact that it's 2.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's 2 and not
arguably
3.
the best one in the series.
Yeah. So what they're doing... Oh, and by the way, it's the one, and you're going to like this, Henry. It's the Dreamcast version.
The definitive version.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is amazing.
So I was listening to the announcement. They actually brought Mike Ross, who hasn't been around in a while for it, but he did the announcement, and they talked about what they're... Sorry.
Alex is so excited he's getting choked up about this.
Literally choked up about it. But yes, so what they're doing this year is they're doing a one-time run of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Because it's, I guess, like the 20th anniversary of that game being out or something.
It's the 20th anniversary of Evo, too, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So they're bringing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and they're doing it they're not doing like a full bracket thing. They're doing a special tournament where it's an 8-man tournament. 4 slots are reserved from all previous Evo champions of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The other 4 are going to be through special tournaments throughout the year. So I'm guessing you have your, like, was it SCR, NES, that stuff?
That makes sense.
They will have a winner from each one, and it'll be an 8-man tournament with 4 returning Evo champions and then 4 new players who win the tournament. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of
cool.
fun.
I think it sucks a little bit that, like, it's weird MK's not getting a second year out of it, but whatever. There's a lot of anime on this board, is all I'm going to say.
Anime brings money. I hate to say it, but they bring
seems like those weebs have expendable income or something, yeah.
There's only so many waifu pillows you can
Now, if
buy.
only we could get rid of the other trash on this board off, that ultimate thing, and replace it with a real video game like Tekken 6.
Of course, like I said, Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
They just announced a third season for Dragon Ball Fighter Z, too. Of DLC characters.
And they announced Kefla and Ultra Instinct.
There's now 3 Brolys in that game. I'm so happy.
Yes,
They have an all Broly
count of
team.
how many Gokus there are.
Everything's a Goku when you get down to it, but Brolys, that's the real measure of a game. How many Brolys you got? They got non-canon Broly, good Broly, and what's it, Kefla? Kefla.
Kefla.
I was going to call her Girl Broly, but she's her own thing and deserves to have a name.
I'm just waiting on KOF to re-enter EVO one of these years. For the newest KOF to be a popular thing again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so let me see So before I forget, because I want to make sure I cover this part, I think I mentioned that it's 4 returning champions and 4 new players. So the 4 champions that are coming back and have reserve spots, Justin Wong, of course.
Yep.
Michael Yipes Mendoza. And if Yipes is the fucking best.
I really hate that I know these names after all this time.
Yeah.
Dude, Yipes still does commentary, and he does some of the best commentary in the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Sanford, Santhrax Kelly, the King. So, and then, of course, a guy named Duck Vader. Duck Vader Do. Yeah. So, it looks like we've got qualifiers that'll be at NorCal Regionals, so NCR, April Annihilation, Combo Breaker, and then one last chance on the first day of EVO 2020. So those would be your 4 chances to enter in to be part of the Tournament of Champions.
I'd forgotten how good just the fighter list for this game is, too.
It is an impressive fucking list. Like, yeah. It's fucking great. And then, it is kind of funny that they didn't even do fucking 3. Infinite was never going to happen again. Infinite's gone.
To quote Keith Cruz, that's right, it's me, Marvel. I'm here to victimize Hollywood with my ugly-ass characters. Nope.
Yeah, Keith's videos always makes me happy to watch.
Yeah, the one for this one's pretty fucking good.
It is. Just this year, baby!
It's Marvel, baby! Just this year, baby!
Okay, Marvel's back.
I'm just excited to see Omega Red as part of the finals, potentially. Like, if you were to pick an a fighting cabinet game that I have special fondness, despite being absolute trash at it, it's Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh yeah.
So my next question for you, Charlie, on this one, you're pretty old school FGC.
Yes.
You're familiar with. I don't know how familiar you are with old school FGC, Henry. I don't think I've ever asked you, but
I'm pretty familiar with it.
Okay. So, considering you already have those 4 slots already picked out, what 4 players would you like to see from old that didn't necessarily make it come back and compete?
I don't know is the real answer. I fully admit my memory's not good enough to know anyone by name, but they have the 4 I'd want to see, but also and this is maybe kind of where I'll be a little controversial. I would love to see someone I've never heard of before. It's been in a basement wearing a horse head, playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, show up and be like, yeah, I'm here. It's my time to shine. They're like, who are you? I'm the new champion of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And you're like, what the fuck? There's still a scene for this bullshit? That's really what I want to see. I want the 4 old schools and 4 just totally new people to show up and be like, it's time.
So you want a guy who never quit the game, who's been in the lab, in the basement, these last 10
that's
years.
who I want. Like I want I want the 4 champions, and I want like the 4 people that were like, fuck you, like just pumping weights, going fuck the FGC. I play real Street Fighter. I play real Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in the streets, in the smoky arcades, with a knife against my throat at all times. Like those are the fuckers I want showing up.
I think I know who I'd like to see it, but he's still active, I guess.
Who would you like to see?
Dacid Bro.
Ooh, that would be good. He'd be good. Did he play Marvel 2?
I believe he did.
Okay.
I know he played 3 for sure. Definitely I'd like to see him come back. I mean, not that he's really gone away, but he hasn't really been competing as much. Like he does more commentary now than anything. But that's what I'd see.
I just strongly believe like this announcement goes out and like a variety of people across the world like prick up their ears. They're like, it's time, and then like Animus like cut, like the world cuts to like just a basement of like a glowing screen showing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 being played, and just like this hunched back dude in there playing by himself against like God knows what. Just it's like, hey, Marvel vs. Capcom 2's at EVO. He just like turns on, it's like one glowing red eye. That's who I want at the tournament.
He's Marvel's MVC2's
essentially, yeah. Like I was gonna say like a Kuma, but yeah, like it's like banned from every Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament while it was relevant. He now plays alone in a basement, just like, I'll make it to EVO one day.
Biding his time.
Like just chained up to a wall for no reason because he's fucking playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So is he actually dangerous? No, but like, yeah, I want at least one person who like never fucking left that game and has just been like in the lab getting beastly at that game to show up. People like, who the fuck is this guy? He's just like, your death. Yeah. And I want him to be old school FGC. I want him to show up in like the full like old school FGC regalia of like bathrobe and horse head. It's like, why? How did this happen? Who let this man in? Or better yet, I want some dude to like wander off the streets of the Vegas Strip and be like the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 god. It just like comes in from the desert. I heard there was a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament. Yeah, there is. You have to qualify for it. Just like kills the dude. I'm qualified. I've been training for this.
So, as far as who I'd like to see show up at this tournament, I would definitely love to see Neo make an appearance because he was pretty old school.
Yeah.
But I think the one that I would like to see more than that would be Clockwork. I would love to see, like, because you're going to see a fuck ton of, like, Storm Sentinel.
Part of my concern is, like, every team's going to fucking be, like, what? Sentinel, Magneto, Iron Man, or Cat. Like, you're going to see a lot of team redundancy, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have the Santhrax. I mean, that was his name. There was a team named after him. Santhrax. So you're going to see Storm for sure. I think you had, like, Storm, Cyclops, Sentinel was one of the big ones. Yeah, that sounds
right.
Yeah,
wasn't Cable used a lot?
Used a
Cable
lot.
was also a big one. Cable was part of Santhrax.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of Sentinels, what we're really saying right now.
You're going to see
a
metric fuck ton of Sentinels. Because Sentinel was one of the best assists and just characters in the game in general. The one I want to see, the reason I say Clockwork is because he ran Strider, Dr. Doom, and Sentinel.
It wasn't viable, but I'd love to see someone playing Venom. Like, Venom is just a cool character in that game. He sucked, but he was cool.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I hope someone's running Omega Red, because Omega Red has one of the coolest supers in that game.
Yeah.
Fucking love me some Omega Red.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I would think it's fucking great if it becomes if the finals is the oldest rivalry that I know of in this FGC, which is Justin Wong versus
I think there's a pretty good chance you might see that too. Like part of me almost wonders if because they're doing this kind of very specific ladder, you could engineer it to guarantee that you have that rivalry happen on stage.
You probably could, because that's one of the biggest rivalries in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, without a doubt. Because like I think it was for years, Justin Wong always beat Stanford Kelly. Like it was always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of situation. And I think of all the times they competed, only once did he ever.
And I know I sound like I'm being an asshole, and I'm like I want some like murderer to come out of a basement for this. And my point being, like, there are these established kind of old school rivalries that I have to respect, but also just seeing someone come out of nowhere and just beast on all of these like old gods of the FGC would be kind of cool in my book. Like that type of upset is something I would find fascinating to watch play out.
The upset that I'd like to see is like it's a 10-year-old kid.
Yes, that is the murderer I'm talking about in the basement. Yeah, it's a 10-year-old kid who like has one glowing red eye because he's that good at Marvel vs. Capcom.
But yeah, that's what I really would like to see. That would be super fun.
But yeah, I think this article went way longer than I thought.
I fucking saw that announcement. I started breathing heavy. I'm like, yeah, Evo's gonna be lit. I fucking consider. I'm like, should I go to Evo this year? Like, man, if there was ever a year to go to Evo, it's this year.
This would be a great fucking year to go. Yes,
like, they're never gonna put a game there I care more about than Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I think you might even see a resurgence of the horse head.
Yeah, like it's some old school FGC bullshit potentially that I'd love to see, where it's like unicorn mask guy versus horse head mask guy. This isn't creepy at all.
Yeah, I think seeing that, like, to really bring it back to its FGC
and they
roots,
shouldn't, because that was a terrible time to be following the FGC because of aforementioned horse head guy versus unicorn head guy. But there was a character, there was a style to it at least.
There was. There is something you can't replicate nowadays.
Every fighting game from an ended with a biker gang breaking in and stealing the prize money. These are facts.
Oh. Yeah. Well, there you go. So I will be closely paying attention to fucking Evo this year.
Yeah, we should fucking go to Evo this year and watch it.
I would be down.
Let's talk about this outside of this podcast. I've always wanted to go, but I've never been like, man, I want to go. But I'm like, look at this being like, if there was ever a year, this year.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. Humble Bundle, to completely change gears, has started doing regional pricing. What does this mean? It's not just converting the cost to your local currency of choice, but it's actually kind of, adjusting that to make sense. We've made some jokes in the past about how fucking expensive games are in places like Australia, where the currencies doesn't quite stack up against other countries' currencies, or they're paying insane import fees. So this is kind of designed to get you that Humble Bundle benefit at a more local price. This segment's been brought to you by NordVPN because, well, we're all going to fucking start, like, putting ourselves like Malaysia or Brazil or something to get those cheap Humble Bundles. Would that even work, actually?
Well, I'm not sure if it's necessarily for the bundles themselves. It's more for the Humble Bundle store.
Yeah.
Because the Humble Bundles are all for, a lot for charity anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that'd be kind of silly. They're already like $1 if you want one. So, I mean, yeah, this is more for the store, in the subscription. I think it will be pricing on the Humble Bundles themselves as well. But, I mean, that's not really, you're getting savings anyway on those. It's really not going to help you a whole lot to pay, a real as opposed to a US dollar.
I will find a way to make this the most beneficial way possible. Don't squat on my dreams, Henry.
But yeah, it's really, I think it's more for the storefront, which, that's where the pricing is more of an issue. But yep.
Sorry, I thought I was gonna say more. Yes. Before moving to our big topic this week, I have a sad announcement to make. A game we've not talked about in a long time. H2 Trivia has finally shut down, penniless and broken.
Yeah, I heard about that. Shit.
What is that?
It was basically it was a mobile game. You'd tune into at a certain time of day, and it was like 1 verse 100 trivia, but like it had real prize money you could get out of it. It was a whole phenomenon.
I remember
also,
that.
playable.
About it anyway.
Yeah. Also, I guess a playable beta of StarCraft Ghost leaked out there, so can't play it yet, but we'll find a way, I'm sure. But kind of last, but definitely not least this week, because it's going to spin off into a whole conversation. You OG Wicked Awesomecast listeners, back before I combined the phrase Wicked, and I'm sorry, before I says Awesome and Cast into one word. Yes, that got changed at one point. We used to do these kind of long-run discussion-y topics. I thought they were fun, and they proved to kind of be hard to sustain over time. But we're bringing that back for this news article, because the news article by itself is pretty kind of innocuous. It is what it is. It's the discussion around it that's worth having, I think. And, well, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just say what it is. So, Geoff Keighley, Mr. E3 to many of us, won't be at E3 this year.
Which is so fucking crazy that he won't be there.
Yeah.
He's been there since the beginning.
Literally since the beginning.
Literally since the beginning. So that's a big departure. He's kind of been associated with the brand. I mean,
yeah, it's
in many ways.
Love him or hate him, if you thought kind of mainstream, and I'm talking like mainstream as in like G4 or Spike TV or whatever video game news coverage, you're familiar with Keighley. Like he now has the Game Awards. Like he's been responsible for kind of more of the public facing mass media aspects in some ways of the games industry than almost anyone else in some ways.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about like Reggie Fils-Aimé and Kojima and stuff, this is a guy that, despite not making any games, is up there in kind of just name recognition as a member of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And via Twitter, he announced, "I have made the difficult decision to decline to produce E3 Coliseum. I suspect he may like physically be at E3 or something, but he's not involved in an official capacity." To kind of continue, for the first time in 25 years, I will not be participating in E3.
That blows my mind that he
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we've always been. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say that's even bigger than like some of the big companies saying that they won't come. To be honest.
Well, so, and what I wasn't giving a lot of credence to that now I am as part of this. Like, I guess there's been rumors of Nintendo possibly skipping E3 this year altogether. Like, it might just like Xbox isn't really even technically there. I know we talk about Xbox at E3, but they're physically not there in a lot of ways they used to be.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, it is possible you find yourself with like 2020 being the year of E3 without the big three actually physically there.
Yeah.
So, like, I know we've kind of hounded around and laughed and been like, "Oh yeah, E3's dead," of all the shit going on with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can say that and say all these companies are gone, but like, I think with this, with you said his name was Keighley, that's his last name?
Yep.
With him being gone, I think that's totally different, because E3 is always like, industry people come and go like that. Like, industry companies, they'll come and go. But like, having somebody who's been there for so long, especially like that, just being gone is so odd.
Well, and it speaks to just a total change of what that thing is about. Like, if I'm not sure what kind of a more mainstream equivalent of it might be, but kind of like, I'm not even going to try. Like, the guys from sports are like, he's the equivalent of that to the gaming industry in some ways. Like, love it or hate it, he's kind of your public face to a certain extent.
Yes. And he's been a good public face.
Yeah. It's love it or hate it things. Like, I've never had any issues with him. I think like what he's done over the years has been absolutely respectable. Like, he's never really fucked up in a way that kind of made me dislike him. It's just like, yep, this is video game talk for the masses, but also the guy's cultivated just kind of an immense wealth of good reputation and just has produced some fascinating stuff over the years. Like, hell, he's responsible for the Game Awards surviving after Spike was like, nah.
Yeah, well, the VGAs is kind of the thing. He really took it over. He runs it. That's the other thing. People are saying that maybe he's going more head on into sort of VGAs being his kind of main thing rather than E3.
Well, so let's talk about the conspiracy. Like, there's a world in which, like, you look at what E3 is. Like, you look at kind of, I'm going to be kind of graphic for the sake of humor, but like the bloated kind of beached whale corpse that is E3 at this point. Like, you have fucking small podcasts like us being like, we haven't needed to go to E3 ever at this point. Like, in really since like 2010, the need to go is more of a like, wouldn't it be cool if I got to go to E3? And the last 5 years have not been kind to E3. You've seen kind of the interest of the public, which should have been a cool thing, but it's been handled badly every single time. And then 2019 happened. You had Sony go, nah, we're good. You had a fucking giant ass Fortnite experience booth because why the fuck not? You just had vacant spaces at the floor. It's showing its age and not in a good way kind of thing. Like, it's people are realizing, hey, I don't need to do these booths. I don't need to go there and do this. Like, fuck. You hear major kind of gaming outlets talk about, like, yeah, we're scaling back our E3 presence this year. Why? We don't need to be there in a more meaningful way. It just doesn't make sense anymore. Like, hell, the guys at Giant Bomb have talked about how they're only going because they're kind of the way their system works of doing the interviews after E3 works better if they're physically there.
Yeah,
like, it's kind of
I can see that.
Yeah. It's E3. You will still want to go to a certain extent, but man, like, this is so. And the conspiracy around it is that if you're Keighley, you kind of look at this Keighley. I'm probably butchering his name a little bit. You look at this whole situation and go, man, with like everything going on, could you do something? Could you do something new? Like, if people are really still kind of talking about, we want a more trade show focus, maybe not for the public, a more exclusive thing, if you will, and that's not what E3 is anymore, could you just start that? Or also is it even like, are you doing more damage to your brand at this point, maintaining relationships with it, than not kind of thing? Because fuck it, like it's 2020. Sony has a console coming out this year, and they're like, we're good. We don't need to be at E3. We're fine. We'll figure it out somehow. We can throw our own convention, fuckers. Hell, Keighley's in a fucking Death Stranding. Man has made it.
Yeah. It's interesting because he's one of these people who's sort of in the industry as a face of it, but he's never really been a part of it. Like, as far as, like, he's not a developer.
Yeah, he's just kind of always been there.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, he's a guy, and he's so kind of, apparently he's innocuous, but he's also really easy to work with, and just friendly and kind of genuine, and that's why he's just kind of very, hung around so long.
Yeah.
And been, very, he doesn't do anything he doesn't have a weird history, he doesn't make asinine or asshole comments.
The guy has been innocuous to a fault.
It's almost kind of rare. He's almost like the Reggie from Nintendo of E3. Like, you just kind of know him when he's there.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess he is a journalist, but it's like, I don't know to what extent really I would even call him a journalist more than just sort of a face of gaming.
Yeah, he's a personality. Like, I'm discussing a weird one. He's kind of like, what's the lady who used to run the red carpets at the Oscars?
Yeah.
What's her name? I feel bad I can't remember it.
Joan Rivers?
Yeah, he's kind of like, not the same shtick, but like, that type of role, if you will.
But yeah, he's just basically been involved in promoting games for a while. I mean, he's involved with Spike TV and G4, and G4 before it was Spike TV, I think. Became, kind of meshed and then disappeared. Well, whatever the case is, he's been involved in sort of the promotion of games more than the journalism about games. But he's done writing too. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
the guy's been around. Like, he has transcended the various aspects of games media at this point.
Yeah. It is. I mean, that's the thing. This is like I do believe that this is a bigger departure than even a Sony, with
I actually agree with that. Yeah, like it's one thing for Sony to go, no, we're not going to spend the money. In theory, he gets paid to be part of this. Like the idea of, nah, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, and there again, he's the type of guy. He's not going to be very public with his like actual intimate reasons why. People are just going to speculate. I mean, there's some cynical ideas that it is sort of I'm not even sure if it's so much cynical as saying that it's about the video game awards and putting more focus on the video game awards than on E3, which I don't see that. I don't see that as a good or bad thing. I see that as basically a sideways move, practically. So, to something that, yeah, I don't know. I think for the masses, I mean, and that's his thing. He really always has been, a lot of what he's done has been about reaching out to the larger population as opposed to niche, which E3 is always going to be more niche in a certain sense than.
But it's also not clear what the fuck its niche is at this point.
Yeah, whereas versus the Game Awards, which are trying and I think somewhat succeeding in being more, more like an Oscars or an Emmys. It's like, not everybody's into the Oscars or the Emmys, but you surely know what those awards are, and you surely know that it's kind of important in the industry to a certain extent.
Yeah,
have the recognition, and that's where the VGAs are trying to head. And I think he's maybe putting more of his power into that because he kind of maybe sees that as the better branch of doing that, or the better method of doing that. Of getting more people's eyes on the video gaming as they, and gaining more respect for it and more attention. So I don't know. It's interesting. That's really fascinating. I mean, there again, that's 100% speculation, but
yeah.
But it is a fact that VGAs are just something he took over because it was, via Spike TV basically dropped it. But yeah. It is, and that's the thing. It is a larger thing of like, what is E3 even? And you just mentioned that it's like, what is the niche? Like, it seems like they're trying to figure it out. I mean, we've been reporting on this for a while now. It's like, where do you think, like, like, Alex,
what fucking is E3 at this point? Yeah.
What is the niche? What niche could it be? What would be your suggestion for its niche for it to focus on? Or, it doesn't have to be
the
one.
Public out. It's never done that part well. I
mean, it's done it a few times. Like recent. This is fairly recent. It's not new.
Yeah, but it's been bad every time, and
I agree.
Like it seems to be pandering to like the worst crowd of things. Like like my issue with PAX has always been how personality focused it seems to be. Like we are fucking personalities on the internet. I can't be too hypercritical of this because that's what we're doing. Yeah. But at the same time, like I like the idea of PAX, but like when you have like the fucking Rooster Teeth convention out there, like they feel like that PAX, that one, like all the ones that kind of feel as though they're part of like the gaming personality conventions. I'm like, I don't think of you as like legitimate sources for information necessarily. There will be reveals, there will be stuff, but you lack the legitimacy of an E3, a Gamescom, a Tokyo Game Show, like fucking even that like Sony self-produced E3 thing they've done a couple times, the whatever they're called, the PSX or something like that. Like, say what you will about how EA has chosen to handle this, but their idea of we have our own show space, it's our own thing, we have our press conference part of E3, like, that's the future, I think, in some ways. Like, if E3 just becomes a time of year where everyone does their own thing to make it easy for the media, that's the play I think is okay, but, like, you don't need to have a press conference, you don't need to have a convention every year kind of thing. Like, Bethesda has nothing to announce this year, I'm willing to bet. But they're going to have a show and they're going to be like, yo, Fallout 76 is on Steam and that update we promised you, it's coming. And yeah, Doom 2 is hopefully out by then. Isn't that game great? And I'm sure the new Wolfenstein will get announced as part of that. I don't fucking know, but like, increasingly, I don't need E3 to tell me when games are announced. Like, it's a part of me almost looks at E3 and goes, "Are you the problem we have to address to start fixing crunch?" Like, if we fucking stopped announcing games way ahead of time before they're done, and games just like got announced 6 months before they came out or something, where it's like, yo, we're done with testing, we're in polish mode, like, it'll be 45, 50-hour weeks, not 100-hour weeks kind of thing, but like that's normal for putting a final product out, and the game comes out in 6 months, I'd be like, yeah, I feel good about pre-ordering now. This feels like a good thing to get into kind of thing. Like, we're far enough in. Like, the way CD Projekt Red chooses to play things is maddening, and didn't work this time because they're still crunching right now. But I gotta respect the hell out of them when they're like, yeah, we'd lots of closed door stuff. Why? We don't want you all fucking latching on to our previs stuff. It keeps biting us in the ass, so we're not doing it. We want to know about your game. Yes, and you will learn about them in the future. We're making them. That's all we wanted to tell you. But we want to know now. No. You'll get Cyberpunk, but it's fucking ready and not a moment before. And we want to see a demo. Here's a demo we showed people 2 years ago. We're going to plaster the phrase "work in fucking progress." And all of you whiny-ass gamer babies, when this thing comes out, are going to go, "It didn't look like the demo!"
Yep.
Fuck that noise. And to rewind a bit, I think that's the bullshit you get by having E3 still as it is. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I think the E3 model you have right now is unsustainable unless you start leaning into the streamer, YouTuber, personality bullshit that I think is fucking toxic at this point. It's...
Yeah.
Like, we all stream. We all do our own thing, but, like, at the same time, at least on this podcast, I try very hard for this to be authentic. Like, we're not fucking being like, "Oh, I'm playing this game, it's great because it's popular." Like, fuck, I'm playing Destiny 2 daily still. I obviously don't care about what's popular.
Yeah.
I play WoW every week. And
well, you're just a bad person, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, it's... Yeah, there's a whole other topic about the authenticity or not. But, yeah, it's E3, is it, do you think it will try to lean more into...
They've already said they are. Like, I think...
Yeah, I mean,
I think this is the first
like
kind of professional level reaction to that, like, fucking press doc, a junket we saw a couple months ago. Like, everything they've said about this year's E3 feels, we don't care about the old media for this. We want fucking YouTubers and streamers and people who are going to fucking tweet about how excited they are to be at E3 and not be like, man, this year fucking sucked. There were no good games to talk about. Like, it's... Like,
that is, I think in a certain sense, I think it actually is, like, that's actually makes more sense for them to go that direction instead of towards the general consumer. Yeah. If it is a specifically an event about media, about that is like press, if it is specifically a press event, love it, like it or not, social media is the new press.
I'm trying to remember what it's called. There is, like, it's called like Stream Expo or Media Expo or something, which happens here in LA, and it's gross every year because it's literally just a convention where you can get to meet your favorite YouTubers and stuff. And that's not the gross part. It's kind of the world around it where you get to realize that there are people that are like fucking stands for people. It's like vlogs and shit where it's the, okay, this is a little bit weird to see, but...
Yeah, you're thinking VidCon.
VidCon, yes.
VidCon, yes. But yeah, it's not surprising. I mean, the Kardashians literally do nothing.
I think that's famous. Gross too. I'm just not a vocal enough minority to get that shit shut down, but I feel confident. Like, I will shit talk both VidCon and the Kardashians and most reality TV of that nature at a drop of a hat kind of thing. Like this.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is a fact of reality now, and that influencers are only growing in their importance for promoting certain brands.
Yeah.
Especially certain types of brands.
No, and I think
entertainment specifically. Anything involved in entertainment is increasingly involved with the social media influencers.
When I think kind of like the public aspect of what you do once you embrace the VidCon-y aspect of it is the rest of VidCon. Like, if it goes from being about the games to, are you a gamer that likes so-and-so? Here's a chance to meet so-and-so. And you're like, oh my God. They're like, and we'll feature so-and-so playing these games, which you're too dumb to realize either come out a week or two before this convention or are already out, or you can play at home. No, but I want to watch so-and-so play Fortnite. Sure, you could do that for free from the safety of your home because they're also going to be streaming this, or you can travel to LA to watch it happen live. Won't that be great from your $300 seat?
Yep.
I'm being overly cynical, but that's what I think the future of E3 is, for better or worse.
I think you're right. I think that makes more sense to lean into that as opposed to open to the public, to the general public, to lean more into social influencers. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, it's weird because the thing is, I mean, if you want. All right, so I am actually an actual person who likes good journalism. Yeah,
I think we all like good journalism, but
yeah, and influencers, because of the nature of how they work, are even more like easily steerable as far as like having an obvious bias towards whoever gives them the most money.
You're paying for that bias. I will always go back to the time Rooster Teeth got fucking called the fuck out for just like shitting on a variety of other news outlets out there that gave Fallout 4 a bad review on a video while they're fucking wearing those collector's edition Pip-Boys. Like, that's all you ever have to know about this controversy.
Yeah. And so, that's the thing. It's like, the whole influencer thing, they are more susceptible to put out total bullshit, like, to just lie through their fucking teeth about something, which, it's actually not as common. Like, you go on even Kotaku or Gamasutra or whatever, Polygon, a lot of those articles are just straight up, here's the thing that happened. A lot of them don't even bother to rate it. They just say, here's a thing that happened. We aren't even injecting a rating or a criticism here. It's just like, here's the news.
Facts.
Whereas influencers don't do that. They are more dependent on the ad revenue and revenue from sponsors than these other game companies, which is interesting to think about. Because journalism, in a large part, is ad supported. Game journalism, I'm saying, and journalism, a lot of journalism in general, it tends to be ad supported rather than, purchasing a thing and that supports it, But I think what we'll just end up with is even worse stuff being promoted and more cynical, I guess a lot more cynical promotion of stuff coming out of E3 than before. Like, like Ninja loves this game X.
Yeah.
It's like, whereas he's just, and I'm just using Ninja because he's well known. I'm not saying that he would necessarily do that, but I'm saying
he did Apex Legends.
Yeah, real easy for it to get somebody out there to give them $1 million and they just say, this is the best game ever, and not be called out on it because they aren't considered a journalist. Because at least, for the journalists, like in Kotaku, it's like, or whatever, people call them out because they're like, hey, you're supposed to be a journalist. You got to be, if this isn't specifically an opinion piece, then you should try to be more unbiased, if it's not if specifically an opinion piece, whereas a influencer has no such demands on them. Like, nobody's making demands of influencers that have journalistic integrity, that only to have the veneer of authenticity.
Well, and they still also got in trouble for not tagging their stuff as sponsored. Like that's an ongoing problem at this point too.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen some great videos just talking about the sort of manufacturing authenticity and being, and the honest, being honest or not with like, yeah, Squarespace is paying us for this, or whoever, like X is paying me, this is an ad, but it is gross. Like I said, there's way less. There's no journalistic integrity expected of or vetted for these influencers, generally speaking. So, yeah, it's like for me, it'll just make me trust E3 even less as a source of game news or what I should check out or what game I should give a crap about. So, yeah, yeah.
Well, so me and Henry have talked a lot, Alex. What do you think on this one? In case we talk over you in situations like this by accident.
No. I mean, I've just kind of been listening along, but to be honest with you, like we've shared as far as what we feel about the whole E3 thing for a while now, and the peddling to influencers has been a big thing, and the fact that we had documentation we did a story about such a long time ago that talked about that shit.
Not that long ago enough, though, either.
Yeah, that's the thing. It feels like it's so long ago, but it wasn't. It literally came out sometime after the fucking E3 from last year. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's that whole approach of, like, going away from I feel like the roots of what it's been and trying to be this big influencer thing where it feels very Hello Fellow Kids.
Yeah. Yep.
That too, yeah.
Like, that's what it's trying to be. And, like, you're already going to attract the kid crowd anyway. It's a fucking video game convention. Like, what do you expect? You don't have to do anything. They sell it sells itself. So, I think the fact that he's not around leads me to believe that there's more shady shit going on. Like, this is my conspiracy theory mode.
No,
none of this is confirmed. Let me just put this out here right now. What I'm about to say is not confirmed. This is my conspiracy theory mind going into it. My guess is that there's more shady shit going on in regards to the things like the goodwill chits and influencings that he was not privy to or not happy about. And they basically gave him a choice of either you play along or you're out. And he chose to leave.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised to see some super scummy shit this year at E3. I like it's very, again, more conspiracy theory. Now this is confirmed. It's very reminiscent to me of what happened with Activision Blizzard's restructuring of Blizzard employees the last couple years, with like the big wigs who've been super dedicated to that. Just are like, I'm leaving. Like, fucking, what's his name? The old president of Blizzard, literally could just show up.
Yeah,
literally could show up and just be like, "Hey, how's everything going? Everything will be fine." But he made a conscious decision to leave. Which is like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of Blizzard anymore. Which leads me to believe that higher ups in the thing were making it to a point where he was not comfortable or happy with it, so he's gone. This strikes me very much like a situation where you hear about some of the scummy shit you hear with like what E3 wants to do, especially the goodwill chit. The goodwill chit really bothered me. Like that thing is just, it's so blatantly shitty. And my guess is he was not happy about it. And he's like, I'm just going to go ahead and depart. I'm going to call it right now. He's going to go. I mean, it may not be on his terms, but the illusion of, you know what, I'm going on my terms right now because I don't want to be a part of the impending shit show. So, anyway, that's my thought on it.
It's hard to say, and if I won't cut you off by accident, I think you have hit it. I think I have the most important takeaway I have from this. I didn't realize it was till you said it. The hello fellow kids aspect of it. Like, this feels like the start of the adults, for lack of a better phrase. Like, if you look at gaming's media right now and kind of say, okay, here are the kids and here are the adults, this is like the first sign the adults are leaving E3, if that makes any sense. Like, where you're going to be left is, like, I'm not calling them legally not adults, but, like, the job versus a hobby that actually turned into a job aspect of things, I guess. Like, this is an end of that version of E3 in some ways. Like, and I feel weird saying that because, again, I'm not trying to imply that people that are big streamers didn't spend a lot of time working on it and all that jazz, but also there's a high amount of luck involved in it. Like in the Destiny community, Dotto has talked about how on numerous occasions, like his stuff just kind of blew up by freak accident around Destiny getting big.
Mm-hmm.
Like hell, our highest rate, like one of our highest rated things on our YouTube channel for a long time that got views way the fuck longer than it should have was just me doing like, hey, here's an explanation of how the fucking Destiny armor system works for Destiny 1. So you never know what's going to be big, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And I think like this is the end of the organized, we worked at something to make it into an establishment versus, what's up, guys? It's your boy. Like and subscribe at the end of the video. Today we're talking about X, Y, and Z, and it's got to be 10 minutes long or else I don't get full kind of monetization off of it or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a good point about it is going towards this sort of marketing. Yeah, the marketing to influencers is definitely a realization that we got to get the kids.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't think it's unfair to say that maybe that's why Healy bowed out, like, because he is still, and I think he would still consider himself a journalist. He minimally has a journalism background.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of these, completely unvetted, people can easily just be dishonest and never be called out for it. I think that maybe that would turn off. I could imagine that turning off somebody like him. So
yeah,
I mean, like you said, Alex, like you said, not to get into sort of too much speculation or conspiracy theory stuff, but you know what? I think that's kind of a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just, it's just my theory. Just want to preface it over and over because I don't want anybody fucking cracking down on this. This is all speculative, what I just threw out there as far as that goes.
No, I think it's a fair point, though.
A game theory?
Shut the fuck up, Henry! I already have it out. I don't need you doing that shit.
No, fuck that. Henry, you do you. You shine bright like the fucking diamond you are. Don't let Charlie steal your light. Fuck that.
Got fucking 2 punsters on this podcast now, son of a bitch. Bad Henry. Yeah. Like we probably talked this one out at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We have no emails to read through this week, but if you wanted to contact us, how would you go about doing that, Alex?
Very simple. You would go ahead and pull up your email client if you're choosing, and in the to column, you would write wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
What's that email again, Henry?
That is wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
Wickedawesomecast@gmail.com. So as it sounds, down in the show notes, etc. Yeah, I gotta have to follow that up with somehow. As it sounds, I don't know. Yeah, probably that just about does it for this week's wow, I'm fucking falling apart now. Thank God this is about to end. That does it for this week's podcast. Yeah. Anything y'all want to talk about before we close this thing the hell out?
I don't have anything else in particular other than I do remember this format now that we, like, after it's been done, it reminds me, but what's it called? Yeah, it reminds me of some of the old podcasts. It was interesting to kind of go into discussion.
Yeah.
Again, so.
We've been done them in a while, yeah.
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 With good reason we stopped doing them. They were getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Some barrel scraping was occurring.
Yeah. I think if we have a nice topic, it works out.
Yeah, I'm happy to return to it for this.
And actually, since we did throw our email out there, if you guys like this style, maybe we can bring it back more often once in a while. Like, not every time, but like...
Yeah, there's definitely some weeks I've looked at been kind of light where I'm like, maybe we should bring this back for this, and then Just didn't.
So, yeah, other than that, you can follow me on all my social medias. It's Mave Online across the board: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, all that shit. So, yeah, Mave Online.
Yeah, I'm Kraken Zero. That's ZER0, and yeah, that's where I am. Where I'm online on Facebook and on Instagram. I've been kind of quiet on social media here recently. I don't know. I haven't felt like really posting, but that's where I will be. Also on Twitch. I haven't really been streaming so much, but on Twitch I'm Nomad Har. Thinking of switching that over to make it Kraken Zero, but haven't decided.
I may start streaming on Mordek in the near future. The studio and the garage is coming together slowly, so there might be a chance we return to video content in the near future.
Yeah.
Get ready for lots of Destiny streams.
Yeah. Which I may join once I
get a PC.
I get a video card.
My clan is excited to meet you, by the way.
Have some of them heard the podcast?
Some of them have, yes.
They'll get to appreciate me playing like an idiot.
Well, it's also more like they're used to me, and they're like, yeah, this guy chooses to be friends with you. I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm an IRL friend.
Yes. As in, like, you hang out occasionally. I'm like, yeah, occasionally. They're like, man, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, we threw axes.
Yeah. Oh, no, they were mad about that, too. Like, not that you were the one throwing axes, but they're like, oh, what'd you do on Friday? Like, hung out and played Destiny? I'm like, I mean, my friend went through axes. And they're like, fuck you. Fuck you having a life. Fuck you for being one of the better Destiny players we have in the clan, but also, like, being like, I'm not gonna play Destiny for a week. Got this life going on the outside, man. Yeah. That's neither here nor there, though. Yeah. That's for this podcast, then. Anyone want to close it out all the way?
Cue the metal.